What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. We all know that most game companies and really anything in Silicon Valley or technology is pretty far left leaning, at least on the public face of that. Inside, I would expect employees to be a representation of, your average group of people. I've definitely heard stories where people feel like they can't be honest around it, but I assume most people that work for game companies are just regular Joes and Janes in terms of their political leanings. But one thing that we've known for a long time is that the video game industry is obsessed with women gamer. They're obsessed with female gamers, all the things that that female gamers have struggles with, the fact that there aren't enough female gamers, what's keeping female gamers out. This is very true of how it was in Magic the Gathering. There was all these ridiculous stories talking about how there weren't more women playing Magic the Gathering because of these imaginary gatekeepers that didn't really exist. It's been an obsession that is led behind a lot of clicks and social media clout. And the fact of the matter is, of course, there are women gamers. Of course, they face some issues like on the microphone where idiots are being stupid. And I disavow that, and most people do. 12-year-olds are they're not the same as, someone who's an adult. This happens and it sucks. But the constant virtue signaling and the constant women have it so hard, this isn't done by female gamers. Female gamers are busy playing games, and they play all the games that we play. They play World of Warcraft. They play Fall Guys. They play Call of Duty. They play all the things that they like, but maybe it's just fewer women game. Now, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a problem, unless, of course, you're a journalist. And E3 got a little bit of an oopsie-doopsie-poopsie by daring to share an article written by a woman. E3 apologizes for sharing sexist women's gaming feature after backlash. The official E3 Twitter account came under fire for sharing a now deleted article written by Parade centered around games that they think women would enjoy. Despite deciding to cancel their convention this year, E3 remains one of the largest and most notable annual gaming events, which means a lot of what they put out on social media gets a good amount of attention. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily true. It has perks, but also has its negatives, as the company learned on August 18th after drawing the ire of the gaming community, not the gaming community, for sharing an article that many deemed sexist. The article written by Parade, I like how DeSerto's saying that it was written by Parade. No, it wasn't. It was written by a female. Her name I was just on her Twitter account. Nicole Pagier, a female, not written by Parade. It was written by a woman, which is a convenient fact that, by the way, DeSerto is absolutely purposely leaving out here. The games we play, 25 online games that women enjoy. And E3 shared it on their official Twitter page shortly before taking it down. The article lists games that thought would have appealed to women, including Candy Crush, Sims, and Kim Kardashian's Hollywood Adventure, with the number one slot being taken up by none other than Sudoku. Look, my wife only plays one video game, and it's Candy Crush and or variants. So the idea that women don't like these games is absurd. Of course they do. The piece was largely viewed and condemned as sexist, reinforcing stereotypes that only select games appeal to women. While E3 themselves did not write the post, they did get massively criticized for sharing it. Huge names within the facets of gaming industry, including Meg Tooney, never heard of him, Naomi Kyle, never heard of him, Annalyn Ding, never heard of him, all called out the company for tweeting the article. Whom's the F wrote this? Okay, I don't want to at her because I'm sure she tried her best, but the author of this story has a tweet from a couple days ago asking if any, quote, video games experts wanted to help with the story, with no replies. So I'm guessing that's how we ended up with having Solitaire be our favorite game. I mean, it's hilarious. Here's Vic Hood. The games industry is slowly getting a bit less sex. Oh, wait. For F's sake. I mean, the article is, of course, hilarious. But we'll take a look at that in a minute. But E3, of course, apologized and Parade themselves deleted the article and changed the link featured on the tweet so that it redirected to a newer article written by the same author but about a different subject. The tweet itself, of course, we messed up taking down the post. That 4-hour ratio needs to be preserved. And here's what I'm talking about. You have 4,700 comments to 1,400 likes. It still had 1,400 likes. For your next Unreal mess up, talk about Oculus, which we could talk about too, which was hilarious. Oculus forcing their users to sign up with a Facebook account only. Today we are announcing that some important updates to how people log into Oculus devices while still keeping their VR profile. Starting October 2020, everyone using an Oculus device for the first time will need to log in with a Facebook account. Of course, we see 3,388 replies to just 825 likes. Obviously, Oculus, the VR space has a small but dedicated fandom, and games like Half-Life Alyx do well to bring a lot more eyes to Oculus, but ultimately you get articles. You'll need an Oculus account to use future Oculus headsets. Oculus will soon require all of its virtual reality headsets to sign up with a Facebook account. The Facebook-owned company says it will start removing support for separate Oculus accounts in October, although users can maintain existing account until January 1st, 2023. 3 years. All users can maintain a distinct VR profile with a separate friends list. Obviously, this did not go over well. The new changes apparently consolidate Facebook's management of the platform. A new privacy policy will be administered by Facebook staff, but not the separate Facebook Technologies hardware subsidiary. Facebook will manage all decisions around that. This did not go well. It's just quite simply, I don't know how else to describe it. It's hilarious. I wanted to bring up the actual Oculus here because the tweet is legendary. It now has 11,000 comments to just 3,600 likes. F off Oculus, Ricky Berwick destroying them. And you have HTC Vive getting in here and hilariously roasting them as well. We do too. I think you also saw some Vive HTC when Oculus made this announcement. It's free, consumers. You have these various memes. I guarantee you won't need to log in your Facebook account every time you want to use the Oculus Rift. Founder, Oculus. So what happened to this? Absolute destruction. People don't want to... Look, there are people out there that don't want to use Facebook. I use it to post my videos, and that's it. I don't post any personal details about myself or personal information about my life. But you see... Yo, HTC Vive, you up? They're in here. Yeah, we're up. Just 22,000 likes. Absolute idiocy requiring your users to have to use Facebook if they don't want to. Now, back to the 25 games that women enjoy. Now, this is just some crummy clickbait article, but hilariously, let's take a look. Girls love gaming just as much as men. According to a report by the EASA, of the total 214 million players in the U.S., 41% are female. 77% of women aged 35 to 54 say playing games help them relax, and 78% of their downtime is used to hop onto alternate worlds on their smartphones or devices. Playing online games can be an amazing distraction from a long day on the job, a much-needed break from intense news headlines, or a way to engage with friends and loved ones. Aside from a friendly competition, and yes, playing games is totally an acceptable form of self-care. While online games have no gender attached to them, many women enjoy everything from Puzzle Quest to Sports Match or a fight-oriented game. There are some games that female players tend to gravitate toward. We surveyed game developers, pro gamers, and everyday players to bring you this list of 25 online games for women. Number 1, Sudoku. Oh my god. It might be true. If they actually surveyed, I wonder if they did. I wonder if the author actually surveyed. You have Wild Hearts, Candy Crush Saga. In 2019, 64% of Candy Crush players were female. As the day goes by, more and more women seem to be hooked. To be honest with you, I gotta keep it 100 here. 64% is shockingly low, in my opinion. I thought it would be like 80 or 90%. So the fellas are enjoying Candy Crush too. I mean, 60-40 is really not that huge of a split. You could arguably say that Candy Crush Saga doesn't even qualify as a game that women in particular gravitate towards in any significant way more than men. Harry Potter Wizards Unite, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Okay, women love that. Men love it too. Overwatch. So you just have, you know, very regular games here. I mean, I'm not sure that this is necessarily that offensive. I mean, it's funny. Stardew Valley, Spelunky, Bejeweled Classic. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Am I right, ladies? And they are even more fun when they come in a variety of sizes and neon colors, and when you get rewarded for properly matching them. Bejeweled was deemed perhaps the most insanely addictive puzzle game ever, which is why it's a go-to for many gals. Bang Dream Girl Band Party. Casino World. Star Chef Cooking Game. I mean, it seems like they just picked like whatever, some popular Kim Kardashian's Hollywood Adventures. Now, I will argue that this game, I would be shocked if it wasn't 95% female. But I mean, women play games like anyone else. Just Dance, that's probably not a bad recommendation. Women play games just like anyone else, but what this is just a list clickbait article, and people were getting super offended about it, and of course hilariously backfired. But yeah, not a great day for E3 or Oculus. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.